Two friends are stranded in a car that's broken down during a zombie apocalypse. They can't repair it, and after 3 days their supplies are dwindling. Can they find a way to escape? The story brings us into a world overrun by zombies, baseball buddies. Mickey and Ben are among the few still alive. They roam the forests and remote areas of New England to scavenge supplies, occasionally having to fight off vicious zombies. Life in this apocalyptic world, however, turns out to be mostly uneventful, and boredom often consumes their time. Ben has adjusted to the new way of life more quickly than Mickey. He's learned to fend off zombies and find food using whatever he can. Mickey, on the other hand, is hesitant to wield a weapon and prefers to escape reality by listening to music on his headphones. During one of their searches, they come across an abandoned car. A female zombie stumbles out from the driver's seat, but Ben reacts swiftly and takes her out with a shot. Luck seems to be on their side. The car starts up without issues, allowing them to resume their forced journey by road. Mickey suggests they stop at his ex-girlfriend's place to look for more supplies. While Ben checks the house for zombies, Mickey reminisces in his ex's room. He takes a new CD from her dresser to add to his music collection, then catches the scent of her clothes and perfume. Ben, however, picks out only items that are practical for their journey, and he finds a pair of battery-powered walkie-talkies among her belongings. They take blankets and pillows from the room to make the car cozier for the night. Mickey is weary of wandering through abandoned houses and sleeping outside, so he suggests to Ben that they stay in the house for at least a short while. Ben, however, insists that staying put is dangerous and that they need to keep moving if they want to survive. He reminds Mickey of when everything first began. They stayed locked in Mickey's house for 3 months with his whole family. Being confined eventually became unbearable. Their food supply dwindled quickly, and Ben had to make the difficult choice to kill the family dog to prevent starvation. In the end, zombies still managed to break into the house, and only the two friends made it out alive from the chaos. Mickey reluctantly agrees with Ben, and they continue their journey without stopping. One day, Mickey finds the walkie-talkies and decides to test them by inserting batteries. He and Ben decide to see how far the radios reach, and suddenly pick up another signal. The two eavesdrop on the conversation of other survivors who seem to be discussing a shopping list for their camp. For the first time in ages, Mickey hears other voices. From their conversation, he realizes that there are people not far away who are still living a somewhat normal life. These people are celebrating birthdays, watching movies, and seem to have food and shelter. Mickey decides to reach out, hoping they might let them join the camp. But a man's voice on the other end bluntly tells him not to clog the airwaves and that there's no place for them in the camp. The man also instructs someone named Annie to end any contact with. Frustrated, Mickey tries to negotiate with the strangers, but they disconnect. Ben, however, takes it calmly and suggests they let it go. But Mickey is unable to accept the rejection and continues attempting to contact Anne. Ben finds Mickey's actions amusing and teases him, saying he's being overly romantic about the stranger, clinging to the hope she'll be a stunning beauty from the movie who will rescue him from the zombie apocalypse. Ben, however, takes a more pragmatic view and urges Mickey to adopt a similar mindset for the sake of survival. The friends eventually arrive at an abandoned motel. When Mickey goes to check it out, he quickly regrets it as zombies are trapped in one of the rooms once again. Ben has to step in and defend them from the undead. He tries to convince Mickey to join in and learn to kill zombies himself. Soon, however, Mickey gets an unexpected chance to confront the zombies on his own. Ben goes for a swim while Mickey dozes off in the car. As a result, Mickey doesn't hear the corpse of a girl slowly approaching. The zombie gets uncomfortably close, attempting to enter the car awkwardly. Terrified and unsure of how to protect himself, Mickey freezes until Ben returns and takes out the zombie with a headshot. With each passing day, tension grows between the two friends. They continue searching abandoned homes for supplies. At one point, Mickey snaps and insists they spend the night in the house. Ben finally agrees, but in exchange he takes Mickey's music player. He explains that Mickey's habit of using up all the batteries is risky, as he could fail to hear zombies approaching. Due to the loud music, Ben tries to make Mickey understand that they need to work as a team to help each other survive. But instead, Mickey gets upset and storms off. Alone in the room, Mickey attempts to reach Annie again. This time, she answers and warns him that talking to him could get her exiled from her group. She explains that the survivor camp isn't what Mickey thinks it is, and advises him to abandon the idea of joining them. However, Mickey is still willing to leave Ben and join the camp, but Annie bluntly rejects him again. Meanwhile, Ben finally lets himself unwind. He blasts music drinks and dances around with his gun. Later in the night, he hears unsettling noises outside and captures a zombie. Ben decides to teach Mickey a hard survival lesson. He leaves a bat near Mickey, who is asleep, and then releases the zombie into the room before closing the door. When Mickey wakes up, he panics and begs Ben to let him out. Ben insists that he handle the zombie on his own with the bat. From outside, Ben hears Mickey's frightened screams and the sounds of struggle. Eventually, Ben opens the door to find Mickey breathing heavily, covered in zombie blood. Furious, Mickey charges at Ben, beats him up. Despite the fight, Ben is pleased that Mickey finally defended himself and killed a zombie. After calming down, they continue their journey, appreciating the beauty of nature and finding ways to amuse themselves. They go fishing, share stories from their past, play a game of baseball with apples, and snack on fruit straight from the trees. One day, they come across an empty car abandoned in the middle of the road. Ever resourceful, Ben decides to siphon gas from it, but Mickey notices that the car's hood is still warm. Realizing they might not be alone, they call out to the car's owner. When no one responds, Ben resumes his task. Unaware that a stranger has sneaked up and taken Mickey hostage. Holding a knife to Mickey's throat, the man demands the keys to their car. Threatening to kill Mickey if he doesn't comply, Ben tries to reason with the man, even offering to go with him, but the stranger only wants the car to escape to Arizona alone. Ben then appeals to his sense of reason, asking what he's fleeing from that's worth killing an innocent person. The stranger reveals that he was promised freedom supplies and a truck if he worked for a group all winter. They lied, and now he has to escape before they catch him. The man becomes agitated again, threatening Mickey. So Ben tries to calm him by saying, the keys are in the ignition. He promises the stranger he'll toss his gun and let him leave. If he lets Mickey go, the man agrees, shoves Mickey aside, and gets into the car. But the keys aren't in the ignition. They're actually in Ben's back pocket. Realizing he's been tricked, the stranger tries to flee into a nearby field, but Ben shoots him, leaving Mickey horrified. As they argue about whether Ben's actions were justified, they're interrupted by new arrival. A woman's voice calls out from a car, assuring them they mean no harm. A pretty girl and a large man holding a gun step out of the vehicle. She instructs the man to grab a gas can instead of the gun, and together they approach Ben and Mickey. She asks them who had been driving the abandoned car. Ben quickly lies, saying the driver had been bitten by a zombie, so they had to kill him. The girl keeps questioning them, asking if the driver mentioned anything about himself or the car's origin. Ben realizes this must be the group that was after the man, so he plays dumb, claiming the driver didn't say anything unusual. Mickey, however, doesn't catch on to the danger and recognizes the girl as Annie, the person from the radio. Realizing they've been exposed, Annie shoots Ben in the leg and aims her gun at Mickey, warning them to stay away from their camp. Annie throws the car keys into a nearby field, forcing the two to search for them. As darkness falls, Mickey struggles to find the keys, so Ben suggests they spend the night in the car and continue looking in the morning. During the night, Mickey hears an ominous sound. They turn on the headlights and see a horde of zombies moving toward them. Ben's injury prevents him from escaping far, trapping them in the car. As the undead close in by dawn, the car is surrounded with zombies moaning and rocking it from all sides. Unable to get in, but creating a terrifying cage for the two friends. Hours pass in this grim situation. While Mickey is frozen with fear, Ben tries to devise an escape plan. He shoots at the zombies, but there are too many to clear a way out. Frustrated, Ben lashes out, blaming Mickey for getting them into this situation. If Ben had stayed out of contact with Annie, they wouldn't be in this trap. Hours pass as they realize their food and water won't last much longer. Now, the two friends can only wonder, who will break first, themselves or the zombies? The next day, they drape blankets over the windows, hoping that hiding out of sight will make the undead leave. The zombies remain, refusing to abandon their prey. To keep their spirits up, the friends decide to drink and enjoy a few moments of peace despite the grim outlook. By morning, they realize they can't avoid their predicament any longer. They have to attempt a way out and retrieve the keys to escape. Ben urges Mickey to venture outside and do whatever it takes to survive, even if that means leaving him behind. If he can't find the keys, Mickey promises he won't abandon his friend. After taking one last drag of his cigarette, Mickey climbs out through the car's hatch, leaving Ben to face a torturous wait minutes stretch on, feeling endless, as Ben anxiously listens for his friend's return. Just as Ben is beginning to lose hope, he hears a knock above. With relief, he opens the hatch and pulls Mickey inside, but quickly senses something is terribly wrong. Mickey shows his bloodied hand, and Ben realizes his friend has been bitten by a zombie. In that instant, Ben's last bit of hope is crushed. With tears in his eyes, Mickey asks what he should do, but Ben has already decided. In anguish, Ben shoots Mickey in the head, his scream piercing the silence. Torn apart by grief, he spends the next few days in a daze trying to cope with the loss of his only friend. Eventually, Ben reaches out over the radio, attempting to communicate with Annie. At the end of the story, Ben shares with Annie a trick they used to escape from Mickey's parents' house, luring zombies to one side to create an opening on the other. He plans to use this tactic again and warns Annie that if he makes it out, he will track her down and take revenge with determination. Ben turns on Mickey's music player, removes the blankets covering the windows, and draws the zombies to the front of the car. Taking his chance, he slips out through the trunk. The final scene shows Ben limping down the road alone, with no supplies or weapons, and a relentless crowd of zombies trailing behind him. But now he has a clear purpose, avenging his friend's death. And that's the story. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon for more recaps like this.